What's up, weirdos, and welcome to the Weirdoverse. I am JD Ross, teller of tales, spinner of yarns, and you are listening to Weirdwide. We got a fun episode for you today. This is going to be the first in a ongoing series where I bring a guest on and we talk about a movie, usually a movie that's kind of fucked up, kind of weird. It's going to be called Unhinged Movies. And my first guest is, you know him, you love him. Welcome to Weirdwide, the Ghost.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having me again, man.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. Yeah, I love having you on here. So if you would, for the very first unhinged movie of Weirdwide, could you tell everybody at home what we're covering today?
Well, I'd prefer not to.
You'd prefer not to?
I'd prefer not to.
Dude, I mean, like, we're recording. I mean, like we're live now. I mean, you got to tell everybody at home what we're covering today.
Prefer not to.
He'd prefer not to.
Oh, that was great.
If you guys at home don't get that, it'll become painfully clear what we're talking about by the end of this episode. We are covering Bartleby.
Man, let me tell you, dude, this is probably one of the weirdest fucking movies that I've ever watched. And I'm not even exaggerating a bit because my wife read the synopsis. She's like, you're in for a hell of a weird fucking movie. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take a nap now. And I'm like, all right, let me see.
Oh, she didn't watch with you?
She did not watch this one with me. She read the synopsis. She's like, yeah, this is fantastic. I'm like, I want to read the book because this is weird.
Well, and that's the thing is it is based on a book. So it's by Herman Melville. I think it's actually more of a short story novella. Right. Herman Melville as in Moby Dick. He's like, that's the main one that he, I don't really know much else by him, to be honest.
This and Moby Dick now. Yeah.
Well, it was originally called Bartleby the Scrivener. And basically, it's got a lot to say. It's kind of it's definitely, I would say it's a statement on, I would say capitalism. I would say, society itself. I would say it's a statement on a lot of things. But basically, what happens, and the movie pretty well follows the book. I did read up on the book. Is basically a low-level office worker starts to just refuse to do his job and responds to every request with,
I would prefer not to.
I would prefer not to.
Literally.
All right, so give me some first thoughts. Like, you thought it was weird as shit.
Dude, beyond. It got my attention immediately because it opens up with they're explaining the author that wrote the short story.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This whole 1840 picture of this dude, like a painted. I'm like, what am I about to watch? And it just gets weirder and weirder and weird. It's just weird.
I mean, even just the opening credits are like, it's got like the Twilight Zone imagery. It's got a lot of really, really strange, like a lot of really weird music.
Kind of like your background now, just yours is better than this. This was just too colorful for me. It looked like some acid trip shit, man. I ain't even kidding.
Yeah, honestly, I will say anybody at home that hasn't seen this, I do recommend. This is definitely one, like, if you need to just like escape reality for a little bit, this is the one.
Dude, I'm with you. This one's, but prepare, ladies, gents, and my non-binary friends. Let me tell you, y'all prepare for weird. And this is perfect for this, dude. Really,
100%. This is one you could definitely toke up to and have a really good time with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it opens up with basically a dude getting promoted. David Paymer is the boss. He doesn't even actually have a name in the movie. It's just the boss.
Literally.
He's like that dude that like everybody know. You know the face. You just can't necessarily place him.
I'm so fucking dying that you said that because it's literally, I was like, I know that face.
But you know what's funny is I had to look him up, and like the one credit I recognize him from was Night of the Creeps.
Okay.
Remember Night of the Creeps?
I remember him from something else.
Well, he was super young because it was the 80s, and it was like he played the scientist that got killed by the zombie. That's all I recognize him from.
Only you would remember that.
Yeah. What did you recognize him from?
I don't remember. I'm literally thinking now. It's a live show. I have no fucking clue. I couldn't even tell you, man.
Well, he gets promoted, and basically, they have a small office. This is like this movie really does well with like the small office setting.
Oh man.
Office Space, I think, hit with like the large office setting. This hits with the very intimate, I just work with a couple of people kind of setting.
Oh, I know they hit that shit on the nose, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it was creepy because I've worked in that kind of a setting. It is creepy.
Currently work in that kind of
and
setting.
You currently work in one. Yeah.
It's not as exaggerated. It's fine, but like
I hope not.
It definitely like, yeah, so like there's that vibe of like, you know, like you're on top of everybody, you know everybody well. But basically, so you know, it's rounded up by a couple other workers. So there's the office manager Vivian, who played by Glenn Headley. The only thing I know her from is Dick Tracy's girlfriend. Remember that?
I know her from What's the Worst That Could Happen? She was Danny DeVito's fucking assistant. Same thing. She played a secretary in that one too. Like, it's the only character she plays is the secretary.
Yeah. And then you got Joe Piscopo, who I know the name, but he plays like the weird office tough guy. And then I can't remember Maury Chalkett. I remember it.
There you go.
That's the only guy. And the only thing I know that guy from is my cousin Vinny.
Literally.
So basically, what happened is, you know, the office goes through a little bit of an upgrade, and they need to hire somebody. So they decide to hire. They put out the ad. That was like the next thing is like they put out the ad, and it's so funny. Like he's using all these buzzwords that are just like, it's so typical corporate America. Vibrant office with perks and great salary, looking for a go-getter, self-starter, and the
capitalism 101.
Yeah, 101. Like all these buzzwords, and the secretary looks at him like, "Are you sure we want to go with this?" Like, she just literally writes the most honest fucking like, basically, this place sucks. It doesn't pay well, and it vibrates.
Literally, like verbatim, they said just like that, and they found someone. All right,
they did. With that vibrating thing, did you notice the whole thing about like they're trying to figure out who to sue over it?
Yes, it's ridiculous. They go in depth with so much random shit. I'm like, what the hell?
So Bartleby shows up. He's the only one that answers the ad.
Yep.
Bartleby, played by Crispin Glover. That dude knows how to play creepy.
Oh my god, dude. What a creepy fuck.
Like,
I hated him.
You hated it? Okay, you just
started hating the guy, man. I'm
right from the start.
Fucking fire him. Call the cops, something. Get him off my property.
Well, Bartleby had so Bartleby's the only one that answers the ad, so he ends up getting the job. Bartleby had a weird history of working for the Postal Service, which I mean already should tip you off because the Postal Service is known for making people crazy.
Literally.
And he worked in the dead letters department.
Yeah.
Is that not the kind of the most fucked up thing you ever heard? Like, it had this, it set him up with this tone of like creepy right from the start.
Immediately, I've seen some shit, man. Don't fuck with me. That kind of that. I wouldn't talk to him, dude. I'd be like, all right, just let the guy be. He's doing his work, and I don't know.
He comes off to me like somebody I guess is more common nowadays of somebody that would shoot the office up.
Literally. It's sad to say that you're saying that now, but yeah, he looks like someone that would hide a fucking M15 behind his fucking his little coat jacket thing that he's wearing the whole time. Yeah.
Well, I kind of want. We'll get into it a little bit later. I do want to go over what he might have, because he definitely had some kind of mental illnesses, but the movie has this if you notice, every single character kind of represents breaking of social norms. Did you notice that? Did you pick up on that?
In what way? What do you mean by social norms?
All right, so Bartleby is the most obvious because eventually he starts with the whole "I would prefer not to,"
right?
But it doesn't start that way. It doesn't start with him. Every single character breaks social norms. So when they first introduce Ernie and Rocky, those two are walking in, and Rocky says to Ernie, how's it going? And Ernie's whole thing is he can never just say fine. It's he goes into all his commiserations.
I realized that.
How's your weekend? Oh, my cat got sick. My girlfriend's cheating on me. And I got at least you have your health. I got gingivitis.
It's like, Ernie, can you just say you're fine?
Just say fine.
Just
And like
say fine.
Rocky's all irritated about that. And like that's this
Literally.
ongoing theme. But then like it doesn't stop with just Ernie. It's also Rocky. Like if you notice Rocky can't commit to like being a normal, like he can't just be a one woman man. He's got to, and he has this whole weird alpha male thing. He goes out to the club and he's going to score, and
he's got the cool chair and shit.
Yeah, like
right.
and like his home problems kind of spill over into the office a little bit. Then you got Vivian also, like she is like whoever, she's basically like, and this was like, this was definitely made in a time like, I think this was a much more common thing, in the 90s and before, of a woman using like what she has to rise up in the ranks, and that's mostly at this point sex, because that's just what she had available. So like every opportunity with every authority figure, she is like trying to push like this kind of, did you notice that? Like
I did notice that. It was kind of like, this is so kind of aged horribly, because I don't think we do that anymore. That is just a 20 years ago thing. Maybe it still happens. I don't know. It's just so fucked up.
Well, and again, you go to societal norms. I mean, societal norms at one point was, the man is going to be the one running the office. Women are at home, yada yada. Well, in this case, she's using what she has available to her,
correct,
to move forward. She like comes in with the tea, and she's talking about like, I've ridden a balloon over Germany. I've skinny dipped in this way, and he's just like, oh,
all right. Thanks for the tea.
Literally. But then even the boss, like, he tries to project this like squeaky clean, like I'm just, I'm a good guy. But then here he is lying to a teenager, saying that he's in the records industry, because the office is a public records.
Let me tell you something. When Bartleby fucking showed up out of nowhere during that scene, I'm like, I fucking love you now, Bartleby. I don't even care. I'm glad you caught this slimy man, because I'm like, Rock, bro, you're in public records. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then he's like literally trying to say like public records, like, records for the people. I've got a line for the heavy metal. I've got a line for get me the rappers. Give me the rappers.
He literally said, "Give me the rappers."
And then, like, did you notice that one part where he's like, "Oh, that scotch is 20 years old. Oh, that's older than me." What?
You literally? Oh, I caught it all. It was, I guess when you say now the norms, the stereotypical norms in the office,
everyone challenges those norms constantly.
Huh. Interesting. You're right. Yeah. I never even thought about it. He went right over my head, because Bartleby's creepy weirdness was just so overpowering, dude. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Bartleby is he comes in, and again, this tracks for the book too. Like it stuck very close to the book.
Good.
He starts off being fantastic.
Oh,
like, he's getting like record amounts of records like filed away and shit. And this fucking mundane, boring ass office, he's just cranking shit out. And then one day, they ask him to do something. It was like, Bartleby, file this. It
was a standard file. Like, can you file this in the normal thing that you already do? And
and then he just, I would prefer not to.
And the dude, the boss. Have you realized that the boss was like, Bartleby, come file this. Like, he didn't even think him to file this. What the fuck are you doing?
He was like, literally, what? No, file it. And then he goes out to him. No, Bartleby, file this like forward for, and then like he gets a phone call because he's the boss, so he's like busy as shit. And then like he just gets pulled away. He doesn't think. It's like, what the fuck was that? Like,
I'm literally sitting there as he's arguing with his boss to do his job, by the way, and he got away with it.
He did. Well, and here's the thing: if you're gonna do that, you got to commit. Because he committed. That's the whole thing. Oh my
God, was he committed?
Yeah. Well, and then like, did you notice like it started to like piss everybody else off too?
Oh, dude, it didn't just piss them off. These people wanted to like fight the guy.
Like Rocky at one point literally wanted to fight him.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, do you prefer not to? Well, I'm prefer to beat your ass outside after work. You wait.
I think Bart just needs a little talking to, and like, like, but none of it phases him. Like, and then even Ernie at one point, like, I love when Ernie started to have his little breakdown. Like, you think you're better than us, man? Like, you got an F4? Like, you got an F4? You got flat feet? Huh?
Dude,
You got flat feet?
He did that
You
well,
got a
dude.
deferment? Like, what? You got a deferment from
It's like,
work?
calm down, man. Calm down. It's like, just let Bartleby be. I'm like, my God, no. Bartleby's not doing his fucking job.
But it's like hilarious because like it even starts like fester down into like the rank and file, like whereas like they get jealous, they get angry, like it's because it's just
Literally.
like this disruption of social norm,
Oh yeah.
and it just throws the entire office in like completely off, and
Into a
no one
funk.
knows how to handle it.
None of them. None of them.
Yeah,
Including the boss.
yeah, least of all the boss.
Literally, the boss is fucking losing his mind, having nightmares and shit.
Yeah, literally having nightmares.
Literally.
Now I'll tell you what, like the part that that I had to rewind this like 5 fucking times. Like the
Which
part
one?
where he starts to kind of be like, okay, I can accept this. He does some work. Like he does always show up, all right, fine. This is just how it is. He doesn't do all the work, but he does some work. Okay. And then he's like, Bartleby, come in here and hold this. Like he's wrapping the present.
Oh
When he's
God.
and then Bartleby walks in and he's got that they went out of their way to do the creepy music with it.
Oh yeah.
And it was literally just put your finger here so I can wrap this fucking present the right way. And he just like,
I mean, this was like a minute stretch.
it was a straight minute of him pacing around the room, and the boss just like, just put your finger right here, and him just like literally he goes up to the window and like he just
you guys have to imagine he's holding the present like, yo, I'm ready to tie this. I need your finger.
And this guy is just like
stretching it, dude.
Oh, and then like finally he just looks at him. I would prefer not to. And just walks away.
Just walks out of the office.
My fucking mind.
Did you notice the best part of that whole thing? After that whole buildup of that, literally a minute at least of buildup, he put his nose on it, tied it, and realized, I didn't need him after all.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the point. That's the point of Bartleby. Like, yo, you don't need help with everything. Even when he gave him money, yo, get food and get yourself some. I don't drive.
What do you mean you don't drive?
Like, I just don't drive.
I don't drive.
Like, I took the bus, and she had to verify with that fucking secretary if he came here on the bus. I'm like,
oh, and then like when she's laying out the bus schedule, like, yeah, so to get here on time, I would have to leave at 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Obviously, I take a taxi.
Literally. Yeah. Literally. It's just, I never got the whole aspect of why did he just randomly start to say this weird shit? Why is he becoming weird randomly?
Well, it wasn't random. It wasn't random. He was like he was broken down by it. Now, I'll tell you one thing I did notice. Like before we like kind of started like diving into maybe what he has and maybe the why here. Did you notice the boss never said please?
They never do. In these offices for environments, they're always just like, get this done, man.
It was all an order. It was
literally.
it was never like, hey, can you do this? Like literally my boss, like in real life, she will be like, hey, can you do this? It's an order, but it's still like I'm treating you as a fucking human being.
Right.
I think that was part of it. Like it was always like, put your finger here, not can you put your finger here, not please put your finger here. It wasn't please go get me lunch. It was go get me lunch.
And get yourself something.
Get yourself something. It was always
I never
like
realized
an order.
That.
Yeah.
Weird.
Extremely weird.
Literally.
Now
you picked a perfect fucking movie for weird.
Oh yeah.
For Weirdwide, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this
is weird, y'all.
I mean, like legitimately, like if there are fewer unhinged movies than this one. Like,
this is in the top 10, man. This is weird.
Absolutely unhinged. So let's like dive in a little bit to Bartleby himself. So like,
let's do it.
What do you think he actually has?
There is some kind of, I want to say there's 3 things that I thought about because psychology, my wife and I talk about it all the time. So I'm like, there's something wrong with this guy.
For sure.
Either he is schizophrenic in a way where it's like quiet, or he has some kind of dissociative identity disorder, or
definitely
he's quite certainly a sociopath. He has to be.
I would say definitely possibly sociopathic for sure.
Tendencies for sure. Maybe not the whole package, and I think the dude is just depressed, man.
Depression is the big one. Like that's the one that I thought of, because like it literally was like, maybe like he literally was just like, it's fine. This will do.
Literally.
Like in the interview, like this job will do. Like, what are your salary expectations? I would prefer not to say. And it literally didn't matter because he wasn't
Yeah,
even cashing his checks.
literally.
Like, and it was like, so depression is definitely one of them. I would say possibly some form of OCD.
I mean, chronically deep
Yeah.
and like seek help, motherfucker. Kind of depression, anxiety, dude, for
Yeah.
real, and
Yeah.
OCD too.
Definitely. I would say I read on the internet like a couple of possible things you might have. Like agoraphobia is one of them, which
Ooh,
is I believe that's like prone to panic attacks and like worry about situations like making you have panic attacks
right.
and like chronic panic and kind of shit like that. And they even mentioned in the film, like they said it wrong, but I think they did that on purpose. Attention
Yeah.
deficit syndrome. And
Did
Ernie
they
was like,
actually?
yeah,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
literally called it that. And like Ernie's sitting there like, so, if he would prefer to get a buzz on every now and then.
You do that way too well. No, he's just here's another thing with what I've realized, and I know this
Uh-huh.
is towards the ending of the movie, and which I didn't know until the end,
Yeah.
obviously, but I think Bartleby's also has nobody. I think that
Yeah.
think we get a glimpse of a picture in his drawer. The dude like looks and there was a woman or something. I don't
And
remember
they
who.
never really explain
Never
that
do.
either.
I'm going
Like
to
they
say
just,
mother,
I'm going to say
or
mother. Yeah.
because it looked older. There was
Yeah.
a newer picture. This is like 2001. This shit came out.
Yeah.
So mother. I'm going mother or grandmother,
I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to say mother
and that's all
figure
he
at
had.
least.
Mother figure, right? And that's
Yeah.
all he had.
Yeah.
He had nobody. He's just like yo, wherever, and he slept at the office. So
That was the creepy part. Well, like, so like when they
he slept at
find
the
out he was living at the office,
oh, it's creepy, dude. It is
uh
just creepy.
and like the only thing he was eating, like I'll tell you what creeped me out, like is the only thing he was eating was those cheese and
With
cracker
the
packs.
crackers, yeah.
You want to hear something fucked up?
Dude, we ate those like
Dude, no.
last time I was over your place. We had like
Dude, yeah,
19 of
because
them.
you know why?
Gave
Because
great,
Aldi
dude.
has them. So I take those fucking things to work. I saw that shit and was like, what
What
the
are
fuck?
did
Could
you
I
think?
become
Are
like
you
Bartleby?
Bartleby? Are you Bartleby?
I would prefer not to say.
I would prefer not to. Dude, I don't know, man. I think that imagine going into your office right now and be like, hey, Jay, can you come in early? And you're like, yeah, sure, fine, no problem. You come in early and you see the creepiest guy in the office sleeping there. What the hell would you do?
Dude, I don't even know. Like at that point, like, because like okay, like in 2022 society, like there is a legitimate fear of someone snapping and shooting up the place. I'm
Man,
being nice to that guy.
absolutely. You'd be like, hey, well,
Bartleby, what's up? Look at you
Bartleby,
getting here early. Good
I
for
brought
you.
donuts.
You
That's
want
what
a donut?
listen, what I would tell. Be nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Today you don't want to. Yeah.
But did you notice the part like after they finally got tired of his shit and they finally it took it too far and they fired his ass and like he literally was like, so I won't be seeing you again, so have a nice life, bye
Literally.
Bartleby. And then like he's like, so I made it a point to come in early on Monday.
Literally.
And then like he literally got there and it was like, nope, I'm not ready yet, it's not time yet. And it was like, I like, what
I mean, what do you do in that
what do
situation?
you do?
What do you do? Honestly, I would call the fucking police. And they
Well,
do eventually.
Well, but first, I mean, they take the most drastic step I've ever seen. First of all, we didn't even talk about the office itself. So the whole like the office is on a hill that's inaccessible to pedestrians, and like it's just like overly creepy Edward. It had a bit of a Tim Burton vibe.
A very Tim Burton. My God, I can't
Yeah.
even believe you see. Yeah, did whoever directed this? I don't remember the gentleman's name. He produced it as well. From what
Yeah.
I saw, it's super Tim Burton, man.
Yeah.
in a weird way. Like, why
Yeah.
is this Timmy Burton?
Like it took a lot of Tim Burton's like quality, like at least
Oh,
some
yeah.
concepts or some DNA from Tim Burton.
Especially the wide shots, like you said, of the building on the hill. Yeah, the wide shot. That's Tim Burton all day. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. And then from there, the whole idea was because then he remembers back to the interview. Like, why did you leave your last position?
Right.
Because the office moved. And like he's like suddenly has this like fucking light bulb moment. Like he shoots up.
Yeah, dude.
The office moved.
I actually thought it was a twist for a minute. I'm like, okay, what's the? I was like, wait, they're moving. offices.
Yeah, they
Because
moved
of
offices
Bartleby.
because of Bartleby. And like
Lost my mind.
everybody at the office was all pissed off about it. Like, well, that's inconvenient. Like, this is terrible timing. And like he was so desperate that they picked the shittiest office. Like, did you see the realtor that was like showing him the office?
Oh yeah, he was like half drunk and like, yeah, that's just mold. Don't worry,
That
we'll look
was,
at it.
dude, that was one of the funniest things I've seen, because like I've done real estate. So like
Right.
he's sitting there just like, well, there's no windows. Ah, you don't want windows. Windows are a maintenance issue. You know, they get dirty. You
Dirty,
gotta
gotta clean
clean them.
them. Yeah, literally. I was
Better
like,
off having a wall.
just yeah, don't even worry about
What
it.
about that light bulb? Oh yeah, we got a bulb guy for that. He's just
I
like
was
bullshitting him like left and right.
literally just trying to sell this piece of shit office, dude.
And then they moved there, and like, what do we all think of the new office? Like, I think it smells like mold. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I love the part where
literally.
he's like, you're gonna love it. It's in a business park. And Ernie's just like, those two words should never be together.
Be together.
Should be illegal.
Literally. I loved it. That office was just also unhinged. The way they had the green with it just looked.
The color was very like creepy and
It
like
looked like
unsettling.
somebody's been literally unsettling. It looked like somebody's been smoking in that fucking room for like 7 fucking straight weeks, man. It just looks
legitimately. And that was also on a hill.
It was.
And like that was covered by storm clouds. But that wasn't even the fucking end of it. So they moved to this new fucking building, and like they're all of a sudden there. Now, did you notice actually the people that moved into the office next? Like, because they moved, and then like Bartleby just stayed.
Literally.
Like they're moving out around him, and he's just staring into the fucking vent. And did you notice that? Did you notice like the next business, what it was?
I don't remember.
It actually was a record company.
Was it actually a record
company? Because they had
That's
like the gold record and all that shit. And I was like, no,
okay, that's very true.
Funny. That's funny. But like people start going to the new office. They're like, you got to do something about fucking Bartleby. And then he's like, I didn't get that. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I fucking fired that motherfucker. He's like, this isn't my problem anymore. And then all of a sudden, like everybody shows up and they're like, no, you got to fucking do something. And then he's
get
like,
this motherfucker out of my building. He's sleeping in the lobby.
He's sleeping in the lobby. He's sleeping, and it's like, first of all, they would have just called the cops, but like
literally, like,
they're literally getting him just involved, and like so he starts to get this weird humanity about it.
I never got that. I'm like, why? I literally texted you. Why does he give a fuck about him?
You did. That was funny.
Stop it.
I did like the part though where he was kind of fucking with him, where he was like in the stairway. And it's like, what kind of work would you like to do, Bartleby? Would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? How about a circus clown? And he's just, no.
Literally.
No. And then like he says one thing, and Bartleby gets this creepy smile to him, just
literally.
And then the smile just
immediately fades.
And he just, no. And it's like, Bartleby, after a while, they're going to have to do something to remove you. And
I prefer not to.
I would prefer not to change anything.
Literally.
And so they fucking do move him. They get the cops out and they fucking take his ass out. And then like he's still weirdly like he can't let it go.
Right.
And like it was like, did you notice like, so he's basically put out by this homeless like fucking community.
Yes.
And then like there's this creepy dude out there like yelling about aliens. Basically like if it weren't for having a podcast platform, it'd be me.
It would be you. Literally.
The aliens are coming. We gotta prepare. Best blah blah blah.
The pyramids, I'm like, what the hell is this?
The Lumerians. I'm like,
Lumerians, literally.
Like, I get this guy. I get this
Yeah, you're like, this I could hang out with him.
But then he sees Bartleby and he sees, in the final place that he's decided to just prefer not to do anything else anymore.
Literally.
And Bartleby literally prefers to stop doing anything.
Yeah.
And Bartleby fucking dies.
He does. That's where I was like, okay, so Bartleby, and I didn't want to mention it earlier.
Yeah.
I wanted to wait till the end here.
Yeah.
I think he's homeless. I just think he's homeless, dude. He lived at the other office. They moved, so he had to move.
So you think it's just like he's just like one of the forgotten pieces of the system
I think capitalism has drained him just so much that he's like, I'll
Stop
get whatever,
trying.
and then he just stopped trying.
He
He's
just
like, he
stopped
got
trying. And eventually to the point where they just happen to catch him at the end where
right.
he's just like, I'm not going to eat anymore.
Literally, have you not
I'm
noticed?
just giving up on life. He even like at one point, kind of like when they're trying to talk to him, he even turns to him like, can't you see? Like he literally tries to tell the boss, like, can't you fucking figure it out? Like
Literally.
there's that brief moment of honesty. Haven't you figured it out yet? Like, and
God,
it's
you
like,
just made me get goosebumps. I just thought
right,
about something.
right?
Dude,
What?
Bartleby is kind of has this pale haze to him the whole movie.
Yeah, he looks like death.
Literally, he looks like he's dying.
Yeah.
And then when he's actually dead, his color doesn't change. He's still that pale fucker.
Stays exactly the same. And then the last thing the boss says to him, like to his body, is the same thing that's uttered by the boss in the book. Ah, Bartleby. Ah, humanity.
Literally.
And then there's a brief epilogue where he's trying to he's invested in the story mentally, and he's trying to sell the book.
Right.
And they're like, I'm not interested. Like, it's a dreary ending, and just get out of my office. I would prefer not to.
Literally.
And then he kind of just takes on the same element of
Bartleby. Yeah, I realized, I'm like, did he just become Bartleby?
It's like
in a weird way, in his way.
Like it's like he passed the torch to the boss and he became Bartleby.
And he did, because he ran down the same hallway in the bus, not the bus station, but the overpass.
Yeah.
He ran. I'm like, yo, is he Bartleby now?
Yeah.
The boss became Bartleby. It is a very unhinged, weird,
very unhinged.
Immensely, y'all. This is just a.
It's not a happy movie. It's not a happy movie. It's a little bit of a definitely a statement. Definitely but you know what? I do recommend it. It's definitely worth a watch. It's worth a watch high. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know if I would recommend it, man. It is watch it once and you probably won't watch it again. It is a one-time watch. Just watch it at least.
It's funny you say that. I've literally watched it twice in the last 2 weeks.
Jesus.
Because I watched it again last night just to get just to prepare for it. For
you know what's ironic about this? You are the happiest person I know, like the least depressing person watching these depressing ass movies. Why?
Dude, it's a statement, because you know what, I can sit there and I can appreciate the statement for what it is.
Right.
Capitalism, I refuse to let it grind me down like that.
There you go.
But it does grind people down like that.
Oh my God,
absolute statement. It's it absolutely, there are victims of these isms. There are victims of society, and
correct.
This is just a fact of life.
It is. And Bartleby has wrapped it up in a fucking bag and was like, and it's like, they don't tell you that this is about capitalistic struggle, and it's not blatant, but my God, the undertone is
the undertone is just it swims through it the entire time.
Literally.
It swims through it like blood.
Literally.
Yeah. So this has been the first Unhinged movie. I don't know what we're gonna do next. I don't know. We might have some other guests on. No idea what we're gonna do. There's plenty of Unhinged movies out there. So, first of all, Ghost, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, friends, you can find me at The Ghost. That's DA Ghost _official on all platforms.
Awesome. So if you have any suggestions for movies you want to see us do down the road for the Unhinged movie series, hit me up at weirdwidepodcast@gmail.com. You can find, if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment, let us know what you think. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, all that good shit. You can find us on all the various platforms. You know about all that. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Dudist Weirdo, and I want to hear from you. I want to know what you thought. If you've seen Bartleby, let me know what you've thought. And let's try to spread this cult, man. Let's try to get some more. Let's get some more Kool-Aid drinkers in this cult here. This weird ass little cult in the making that we got going here. Yeah. So tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. And until next week, keep it weird.